Hey, I'm Cole,
I'm Kenyon.
I'm Kwamin.
and I review bad self-help.
And we put it into our daily lives so you don't have to.
This week, not doing something super self-helpy, but
Are any of them
I don't
really
think any of the
super
stuff we've ever
self-helping?
done is super
I
self-helping.
would say a lot of this is super productive
I
tips
think it's
for your life.
all destructive.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's not like something you can really do to help yourself. But it's something that like a lot of people, it kind of like travels in the same field as these self-help things we've done before, and it's the chiropractic or whatever.
Oh, just Yeah, that's a pretty
Chiropractors?
popular thing. I don't know why you had to say that like we had no idea what a
Yeah.
chiropractor was.
Dogs was like we were just two village idiots.
Yeah.
I know this might be a little too advanced for.
We're going to try electricity this episode. And me and Kwamin's like, oh.
next episode's gonna be like cracking your knuckles, and he's like, I don't know if you guys really know science of the
No,
human body.
like we're just scratching our heads, being like, I don't know.
But
Or bleeding.
But a lot of people I've noticed believe that chiropractors are like a legit medical.
It is bull. They're not
science.
real doctors, right? It's complete bullshit from what I've read.
Yeah, but I've met like one of my friends' dads is a chiropractor, and he seems like a serious.
It's a job, but it's not. You don't have to get a medical degree.
Yeah, it's alternative medicine that had a huge like PR campaign behind it.
Oh man, aren't we lucky that it was just chiropractors that did that? Because some of these other books you read, where it's like this is essentially like the Nazis taking power. Like this is a fringe group that somehow succeeded.
But there's actually like no science behind what chiropractors
But
do.
I see a lot of chiropractors. Like those are everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you can make money, but it's not a real thing.
Yeah.
It's not real.
They people believe they're like a real thing and what they're doing is real, but it was invented by a guy in the 1890s who
Let's just establish anything that was in that any like religious or pseudoscience that was invented past 1700 is bullshit.
If the guy who invented it has a social security number, we just know that it's garbage. If we could just.
Well, it was invented by someone who used to be a magnetic healer and a grocery store owner before
he wisened up and it was like, yeah, that's bullshit. Let me actually.
Yeah, he sold goldfish commercially was his main job before he invented chiropractic. But before reading into it, like I kind of assumed chiropractors were a legitimate kind of
I did
thing.
because you could in a lot of healthcare plans it's covered. So it's
Yeah.
not it's
Is
not
it
like
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I used to watch.
they've been slowly being more covered.
they're covered, yeah.
I remember I used to watch 2.5 Men when I was a kid, and they would always make fun of the brother Alan for being a chiropractor. And I was like, oh, like why is he not a doctor? Yeah, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh, he's like not a fucking doctor.
Well, people
That's
make
not
fun
a
of
thing.
dentsts too. They're like, well, they're not real doctors, but I still assume there's some science.
I thought it was
to
something like
dentistry.
that. Like
So I
maybe
thought like,
it's just doctors
chiropractors
looking
are like a
down,
lower
yeah.
scale of doctor.
It's like cops trying to
didn't
make fun
realize
of.
there's like actually no science.
Yeah, I thought
to
it was like cops trying to make fun of firefighters type thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, you don't do. What are they? Because it's just basically cracking your knuckles for your back, right?
No, it's basically so the guy that invented it. So he invented it when he noticed his friend who was a deaf janitor or whatever. And he noticed that his deaf janitor had kind of like a hump in his spine, and he thought maybe if he aligned his spine correctly, he could hear again.
Okay, I like how so he thought he could cure the hump. He was like, no, he was gonna go right after the deafness.
Also,
He was
side
like
note,
jumping the hump,
feels
going
like-
right to deafness.
feels like you didn't have to mention that he was a janitor. Feels like that was
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
a shitty
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
to
yeah.
be like, yeah, he's a deaf janitor loser,
Yeah.
lives in a 1-bedroom apartment, no bathroom. He has to share it with the other tenants. Anyways, I'm trying to cure his deafness.
Yeah, I just
Yeah, so he pushed his spine back into place, and the janitor's hearing returned.
that's not how that works at all. So that's clearly not true.
No, because I mean
He fixed his legs and he could finally see again. You're like, that isn't how.
Yeah, so he decided to start a whole field off of his discovery. But that was what he said was the intro. But the daughter of the janitor said what really happened was like the janitor told a really funny joke to the guy was D.D. Palmer. That's the guy who invented chiropractic. But he said he told him a funny joke and he slapped him on the back. And then a couple days later, the guy's hearing returned, and he's like, "Hey, maybe that fixed it." And so that's
And then little did he know, Palmer just ran home and started opening patents and like writing books. Even though at work he just said a slight like, "Hey, maybe the pat on the back cured it." Just bullshitting around.
yeah. So that's kind of like the foundation of the field of chiropractic.
Can you imagine how many horrible ideas have been spawned from like offhanded comments like that, where it's like,
Yeah. And so basically, the idea behind it is that, so they think chiropractors think they can. Well, in the beginning, they thought they could fix anything because they thought that.
well, yeah, if you're just making shit up, why not just say you could do anything? Why put limits on, fans?
Yeah.
What do they?
Well, they thought that. So they thought all your energy, your human energy, like travels through your spine, and so if you just
Oh, so they're like into chakras and stuff.
Yeah, that's not.
Oh, so they're like they're in it. Dark alliance.
Yeah,
with the
this
devil.
ain't even
This
like
isn't-
close to
Not
being
even
a dogma.
pretending to be scientific. As soon as someone says the word energy, I'm like, oh, you're gone. You're on the left field. You don't believe in.
Yeah, so they believe if they align your spine correctly and stop blocking that energy from traveling up the spine, then that heals like everything.
What energy? They don't. What kind of energy? What do they mean? Just
Yeah, people
energy?
really
in
throw the word energy around like that means something.
energy.
Why don't you have the energy to form an actual argument and put facts together?
Yeah, just your human energy.
But see, that's nothing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not.
It
it's
doesn't
not a
mean
thing.
anything. Are we talking about like the electricity that runs down your
Yeah,
spine,
measure
your
that? Is
blood?
that
Yeah,
a-
there's
yeah.
no.
I mean, the guy was a magnetic healer before he came up with that. So
Okay,
he's
yeah.
not.
Magnetic healing.
I can't believe you would use that as a credit.
What the
It's
fuck
like
is
he
what
was
the
a
fuck?
magnetic
Yeah,
healer.
you can't just see. So when you do the intro to the book, you can't just like skip over one part of the bullshit to be like, yeah, he was a. You got to explain what the fuck magnetic healing
Also
is.
sold
before you-
goldfish. You're like, what kind of horrible Renaissance man was this? He's like pulling out magnets and fish, and you're like, what the fuck? How do you break into that field? What?
Yeah. So what a magnetic healer?
Yeah, what is
I
that?
didn't investigate too much, but I'm pretty sure they just kind of put magnets on your body and see if that.
This seems like something like Bill Nye would do when he was out of work. He was like, I'll just convince these idiots that magnets can cure cancer and make a bunch of money.
Yeah. So that is kind of the basis that this whole.
So the basis is that there's essentially no basis.
Yeah.
That
It's
there's just complete. But this is super successful because the other books, everything we read, like this is just.
No,
insane.
chiropractic. You see those shits like everywhere. Yeah.
No, this is like part of our cult. They won. Wait, we're making fun of it, kind of like the Palestinians throwing rocket bombs at Israel, but it means nothing. like the chiropractors are in power, and they are here to stay.
Yeah, they keep getting more and more power because, like, in the 80s, the American Health Association they like called them a cult and like kind of disbarred them from doing anything.
But
And
what did they have to do to finally?
Oh, well, they sued them. Well, they didn't allow them to be on like any insurance health plans and stuff.
Yeah, which insurance doesn't even
shouldn't.
cover shit you actually need.
Yeah.
So why is it gonna like cover hocus pocus nonsense?
Yeah, but these guys have slowly been like getting themselves on more and more insurance and stuff.
I feel like this is kind of an inspiring tale. Because I feel like they should tell this at schools. Like, you could do whatever you want, including make up a fake branch of medicine and pressure the U.S.
We
government.
talk about how fucked up insurance is in the United States. People are like, I got to pay $80,000. The fact that chiropractic is covered is
Yeah.
that is the
Priorities
biggest
are out of
fucking-
whack. But for the longest time, they're like, wait, you have a pre-existing condition? No, absolutely not. What? Why would you go to the hospital if you're sick, you idiot? Get a hold of yourself.
Yeah. So the guy that did come up with this, he opened up like a whole school to teach this. The first student was his son.
Dad, do we have to? God damn it. Being a family. I already brought some of your fish. I have 18 fish that I don't want. Room full of magnets.
Yeah. So his first student was his son, but eventually this guy, his name is DD and his son is named BJ. I don't know
What's going on here? It's initials? They don't even. Is there a real name to any of
Yeah,
that? Or
double initials are always kind of fucking.
yeah, it's always a
annoying.
problem. Like, what's your? How
JJ,
long is your
BB,
actual name?
EE,
Yeah.
sure.
I didn't even know people were named BJ back then.
I don't think you could do that.
It's like
Yeah, you can't throw that in a birth certificate.
I thought that was just like a modern name.
Yeah.
Kinda, but no, or DD. But
yeah, that doesn't even sound like an adult. Sound like an adult man I could take seriously.
It's like a background character in like Fat Albert or some
Yeah,
shit. Dude.
yeah. So yeah, he the dude that came up with it, he also called himself a spiritualist.
He's just throwing away every term that's Energy, spiritualist. As soon as someone says one of these things, you can be like, oh, nothing you say has any value from this point. This is just a signal flare for bullshit to come ahead.
You don't believe in any spirituality, any of that stuff?
I mean, what do you think? Recording this in the daytime in Cole's living room. There's no God. Okay, I'm sitting in proof that there's no fucking God right now.
Yeah, but he said the idea for this.
Also, that shouldn't come up with like trying to massage someone's back. I don't think you should have to bring up whether or not there's a higher power.
What do they do? Is it massage? Because I thought they I've seen videos. They crack your shit, right? They
No, they try to align your spine back into.
So
place.
it's not all the bones and muscles. It's just your back.
Yeah, they believe everything happens in the spine.
But that's just not true. Like it's just so
that's
clearly
some,
not
pure
true.
1600s.
Yeah,
we don't know science.
That's like I get almost see a chiropractor being like, yeah, and then we put leeches on you afterward. I'm like, well, we're past this.
No, a lot of them also do homeopathic stuff as well, and they sell like nutrient supplements and stuff because they're not like licensed doctors, so they don't have that conflict of interest.
Of trying to heal you, they don't have that classical fucking thing.
You can't. Well, that is. I mean, that's a brilliant move if you can heal someone but not technically make it be medicine. So you can't sue me if shit doesn't work.
Supplements are, I think, the biggest evil industry in this country.
Supplements?
They literally, because the FDA, they're like,
some of them work, right? Don't some of it like vitamin?
There's actually no proof that it does.
Iron.
It says on the bottle,
vitamin.
FDA.
You're supposed to get like vitamin C and all that shit, right?
You know, I could sell you a package of that.
You're supposed to get. Back me up here, Cole. Aren't you supposed to get like vitamin C and like enough vitamin?
Yeah. But I could sell you a package that says vitamin C on the outside, and it could have no vitamin C in it, and no one could be mad at me because it's a diet pill. It's not a health thing, so there's actually no regulation on it. It's like a libertarian paradise where it's like I could put just sugar in there and sell it to you, and no one could actually say anything to me whatsoever.
No, the chiropractors are geniuses because they're not allowed to prescribe drugs at all, which is kind of you would think a doctor
would be able to
do that, but they like
they just prescribe like really expensive supplements that are garbage.
That's another
thing.
How
they
expensive?
turn that around and they market their thing as like drugless medicine.
Oh, not to try to cash it on the natch, but it's not. It's because they legally can't.
Yeah,
it's not because that's the best thing for you. It's because there's legislation in place preventing me from.
How expensive is it?
Chiropractic?
Yeah.
It's
And how does it work? Like hour-long sessions or like what is it like?
It's pretty expensive. They also do a lot of Xrays to try to find like the.
Wait, they can legally just use Xrays? It's not like.
What do you mean legally?
Like there's not like legislation around like
I'm
just
pretty
buying.
Sure, like, I could buy an X-ray machine. Like if I just really
you shouldn't be able to. I mean,
if I really what just to look at people,
they
it'd be
fuck
fun.
around. They like fuck around and give you cancer. They
That'd be like a fun party trick.
X-ray.
You go over to Kenyon's place, they take an X-ray. You know, see what's going on. Like getting drunk, fucking take it. It'd be like kind of a wacky photo. Sit there with a girlfriend, you know.
I don't think I've ever heard of someone having an illegal X-ray or getting.
But I'm saying, can't you like?
Hey, as soon as this podcast takes off, I'm grabbing an X-ray machine. Having it in my place. Never used. It's just a bunch of beers on top.
This podcast takes off. I'm opening a chiropractor. Stay there fucking immediately.
Do you think people? I mean, guns aren't even like illegal. Why X-rays are not like?
Yeah, this is America. Okay, you can own whatever you want. I'm gonna sit there, have my friends take X-rays, holding a fucking AR.
I'll shoot you and then come on out and get the fucking X-ray. Let me see what's wrong with you.
Yeah, have that. It's just kind of cutting the middleman now to party. Everyone brings their fucking. You bring your 45s. We start shooting around. You get shot. Look at the X-ray machine. Are you good? If so, right back on that shooting range. You know what I mean?
I might even get a gun that shoots X-rays. But
I can imagine that's actually at a chiropractor clinic. They just take out a magical squirt gun. You're like, oh, I can see that you owe me $1,000. According.
What are they X-ray if you're? Because if I'm not actually like, if it's some shit where it's like I have hearing loss.
As
like
you
if
can
I
see
have
here,
hearing
you
loss,
have too much energy.
Yeah, you know what I'm
in your
saying?
back.
If I have hearing loss, there's nothing wrong with my spine. So I go and he just bullshits like, oh yeah, your spine is out of place, and it's completely
well,
shit.
they X-ray it. I mean, do you know how to read X-rays? I'm sure if someone points on the X-ray chart and says, "Yeah, there's a little tweak right here," are you gonna be like, "No, there's not"?
But you can see like
if I
there's
saw
not
like
a
I
straight.
could see bones, and I'm like, those look pretty all right to me. I was like, listen, I'm no
Yeah,
doctor
but
here.
I'd also say the same thing if I went to a hospital. I didn't want to pay for the treatment. I'd be like, that looks pretty fine to me.
That's what I said before. I've said that before because
Yeah, he was like, your neck's like on a line, and I'm like, I think my neck is fine.
Yeah. I was like, just hand me a wheelchair and let's get out of here. I'll cut in line. Things will be good.
Yeah, but yeah. So the dude who invented it, he calls himself a spiritualist, and he said that the idea originally came from when he had a séance with a dead guy.
Why not? Because why not?
How the fuck was he able to? This is insane because it's like such a popular thing, and I didn't realize the basis of it. It's like, yeah, so when I was doing a voodoo ceremony with a dead person, Satan himself spoke to me and told me that I could scam people out of their hard-earned money.
Yeah, and he calls himself. After that day, he always called himself Old Dad Cairo. So,
Sounds like a fucking anime supervillain.
Oh,
Not even a real.
Yeah, like there's a bunch of letters, and he always refers to himself as Old Dad, which is
Old Dad.
which is kinda,
It's uncomfortable.
Mortal Kombat kid.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
yeah. So he opened the school. His son was his first student. After that, he was jailed for practicing medicine without a license.
Yeah.
And then
So the thing is like, how did none of this make this to the court testimony when they were suing the United States? And anyone would be like, hey, your founder was into voodoo and was in prison.
It's just weird how throughout history, whenever it's bullshit like Scientology, chiropractic, Deepak Chopra, whenever it's bullshit people versus not bullshit people,
People win.
The not bullshit people are so bad at just presenting an argument. Like it's
like Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump, where it's like,
how did you possibly look like you? This should be the easiest fucking thing.
It's just a touchdown, and it's always like, well, as you can see here, and I'm like, no, he knows nothing. He's an idiot.
You could go out and your entire was like, dude, this is obviously bullshit.
Again, like if I was the lawyer for this case, you would just have to read what Cole just said, where he's like, a seance. The person, he's like, you realize that their whole medicine revolves around the fact that everything has to do with the spine, and then everyone's like, what? Why are they here?
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, because even in the first case, like the nerve for hearing doesn't go through the spine.
No, and that's common knowledge. That's something that me and Kwamin know, and we're idiots.
But yeah, so he was jailed, and then when he was released, he found out that his son took over his chiropractic school and denied him entrance.
The con man becomes the master.
there's like an entire lore. Behind chiropractic.
It's like Game of Thrones.
That's what started the War of the Two Chiropractic Kingdoms, which lasted for 15 years.
I built this bullshit up from nothing. There was no facts, son.
Father, you have returned. Take him away. No. You have no power here anymore, Father.
Yeah.
It gets even worse.
It is I who lie now.
Because it said he was like walking around town one day when he was struck from behind by a car driven by his son.
House of Cards level assassination.
His son stole his scheme and then ran him over with the car? That is bold.
Yeah, and then he died a couple days later.
Wait, so his son killed him. Wait, so the founder of this thing was killed by his son who stole his business?
Yeah.
Well, now look what they're doing. They're doing great. A rocky start, but they turned this startup around. It's kind of an inspiring tale. Jesus Christ. But you know what that man is? A true pull yourself up by your bootstraps capitalist, okay? Does he sit around there blaming his problems at other people? No.
That is the most American story.
Hey, if you're bankrupt in this country, get in a car, steal from your father, and run him over with a car.
The history of America is like you just create something and tell people that they need it. And just sell that bullshit.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Also, like, it isn't like not that I understand murdering your father for money, but it wasn't even for money. Like, it wasn't even like, oh, to get, like, you know, when rich kids, like, try to kill each other to inherit, like, the family's wealth. It's like, they had nothing. For, like, you just made up.
Dad was like, no, I just want to be a local chiropractor. And the son was like, this could be an empire.
Yeah.
Do you understand what we could?
Well, you're just marketing essentially back massages with a lot of like hocus pocus attached to it, and it's just.
Yeah. So,
So is there
Also,
like
didn't you say
photos
this
of this
guy-
guy in every
So
clinic?
this guy started this in the 1890s. I mean, how fast is a car going in 1920?
Yeah.
You can't fucking dodge
This
it.
dude just ran over him.
It's
Like,
going 7 miles per hour.
was
You
just
can't-
sitting in a wheelbarrow being pushed by somebody.
that is the
Is there is there like a Sunite Shiite thing where some people like support the dad or the son as the original founders of chiropractic? I want to go to a chiropractor's office like we don't support any bastardized version.
Iran actually focuses on the upper spine, whereas Saudi Arabia tends to believe in the lower spine.
Like go to war with each other.
Yeah, not so much just because BJ was super successful in turning it into. He always focused on it as a business versus a medical
An
practice.
actual thing that works.
Yeah.
It's like Steve Jobs. Like, let's just try to sell the product before we make sure this actually works. Let's really focus on scamming the public
You know
before
what?
making.
You think
a pro-
Steve Jobs is scamming people?
I don't think he didn't care about his children. He wore turtlenecks and just took some acid and told everyone like, I want to. You should envision the future. It's like there wasn't anything actually. It was not a genius.
He also, he's kind of a monster.
He's an asshole.
You read about him, he's like, he kind of fucked over everybody.
Fucked over everyone he worked with, ignored his daughter, and then what? He makes one cool commercial for a new phone, and I'm supposed to think he's a genius?
Every single one of those tech people, like you read about them, they're supposed to be like, oh, they're changing business and it's like corporate casual. You read about like Mark Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, and those people are like, yeah, this guy sucks. This
Oh,
guy's
yeah,
a
yeah.
fucking
I
monster.
feel like Apple like fanboys would still, if Steve Jobs had ran over his dad, I feel like they would still be like,
Oh, it'd be like part of the think different. It would be like, yeah, kill your dad. Get outside the norm. I would want to see that. Well, you know, like the original iPhone thing was like some weird, like dystopian sci-fi commercial where like the slaves overthrew their masters, and it was like Apple, and it's like, what does that have to do with the new computer? And it's like that's what Steve Jobs did, is he made people focus on the Apple brand instead of focusing on like, is this computer? Why should I pay $1,000 for it? It's like because it looks cool. You know, there's actually.
Keep in mind, we're saying this is Cole who has an Apple computer in front of
Oh,
him.
yeah, yeah.
Open right
No,
now.
he won. Yeah,
It's on an Apple laptop.
Isn't the only thing is that they're better for viruses, right?
Apple?
well, they're
Is that-
better. They're better for programming too, because
That'd be great for that, and we're like objectively good computers. Yeah, so Steve Jobs sucks, but those are some solid computers there.
just because Microsoft never had like a.
But on the plus side, I can FaceTime her. She's all the way in Beijing, and it's free. It's like a whole fucking.
Yeah. It actually turns into like this is like the most oddest
Yeah.
Apple commercial.
I don't think I should probably get into why they're better for programming.
Yeah, I don't care, and I know no one listening
I
to
don't
this
wanna hear you
cares. So I mean, if we
drone
get
on for 45
guy
minutes.
starts talking about fucking whatever, I actually don't even know enough about programming to make a slight joke about it. I have no idea.
I wish it was enough of a nerd to make fun of you, but I like to.
Like, I don't know. What do you click control? I don't know. I have actually no idea.
But there actually is two types of chiropractor like thought behind.
You legitimately scared because I thought I was going to say there actually is like two types of programs.
I was like, yeah,
geez, I was like, God
We're
damn.
gonna edit this out.
goddamn.
This is great. I was about to be like, God damn.
Because they're classified in terms of, there's the mixer school and the straight school of chiropractors.
That sounds like something like a Christian preacher would say.
Yeah.
What the
Two
fuck is
types
that?
of chiropractor on this earth.
Well,
It'd be great if they banned mixed chiropractor in like Alabama and some of these states. There, I think you keep your chiropractor pure and separate. Whites work on whites. That's it. I don't want to be mixing it about. Having them goddamn Puerto Rican touch my back.
so the straights, they regard the spine as the primary cause of all bad health. And,
Well, that's again objectively it's just like you can't have the fundamental basis of your medicine be so easily disproven.
Yeah, it's not a.
Where it's like you can just say that sentence, and I'm like, that's
what do
just
they mean?
not
They mean like
true.
if I have like a tumor in my leg, they can fix my spine to fix that, like that. Or more like if I have, are they? Because it'd be
anything that
it'd be
deals
subtle
with
if it's more like ephemeral shit, like oh I'm like kind of depressed, so you got to listen. Versus like I have a tumor on my face, but your spine can fix that.
anything that kind of deals with the nervous system, but I'm sure they could come up with a justification.
Yeah, it's
for
like
it.
if you were gonna pay him a couple $100s, they'd be like, we'll find a way to bring your spine into this. We'll find a way to.
Those are the straights, and then the mixers. The mixers do acknowledge that germs, hormones, and other factors.
Mixers just acknowledge science and says there are two schools of thought: complete delusion, and then people that will partially acknowledge reality.
Wait,
They'd
so
be
the
like,
other
sure,
people
germs exist.
they don't
but
believe. So the straight. It sounds weird saying
It's
the
the
straights.
straights.
The
yeah.
straights, by the
I
way.
was saying it the entire time, like this race of the straights.
straight.
And the love of the whole.
the straight spines, they don't believe in like germs and shit.
No, they don't believe in like medicine or drugs.
Wait,
or-
so you're saying, but that cannot be true. I can't go to a.
No, like that's like Christian Science.
I
man.
can't
Yeah,
go
what
to
are
a
you talking about?
chiropractor because I know some people that are chiropractors. I can't interview like my
they're
friend's
probably,
dad and be
they're
like,
probably mixers.
oh,
There's more
It's
mixers.
such a weird like night. This feels like a 1950s like social class.
He said that. He said that the way that someone like denounces another branch of their religion. They're probably damn mixtures.
You know,
is
I
what
don't
it
like
is.
going over that side of town. Bunch of mixers
Bunch
walking
of
over the
mixers
damn place.
Yeah. Well, there's more mixers than straights. Kind of like there's probably more Protestants.
They outnumber us in our own goddamn city.
In our own
You
country.
got mixers running around fixing spines, handing out tissues.
Yeah, but mixers still believe that
I
the
don't believe in germs. I believe in what I can see, which is the downfall of this society by these goddamn mixers.
they still believe that the spine is the underlying cause of all that stuff.
Of
but
all, and by all that stuff, they mean any general medical problem a person could have.
But
Yeah.
mixer was like a mixer. If I went to a mixer and I was like, I have a cold, would they be like, let me fix your spine, or would they be like, take some fucking?
Yeah, I feel like that most chiropractors have enough where if I came in and I had just been shot, they wouldn't be like, hey, well, I think your vertebrae are a little bit. I'm like, I can't. I will be dead in 5 minutes. Like, do you have a card we could run before
Yeah.
you bleed out on the table?
Is that Bank of America or Chase?
Yeah, you have like a security code on the back or. Yeah.
well, if they say they have to believe that the spine is the underlying cause of it, because otherwise, there's no reason for them
For
to
any
exist.
of them to exist,
Yeah.
for their office to be open if they don't actually purport.
Because otherwise, they just do the same thing as like physical therapists or something.
Well, see that. So what is the key difference between like a physical therapist will help you get over like actual?
Because that's an actual
Because-
doctor. It's the same
because
as like
they use it to treat things like, so it's okay for things kind of like, the only thing it's been proven to be semi-okay for is like pain, like lower back pain. You can kind of, so anything that's kind of like skeletal,
my physical
muscular
therapist. Like, I
skeletal.
can't walk. They help me. Like they like massage me. Or they do like exercises to help me gain structure in my legs.
Yeah.
So,
Isn't it the same thing as like there's like nutritionists versus I don't know which one is like the actual medical thing, which one's supposed, but there's like nutritionists versus people like nutritionists versus like dietitian.
yeah.
I forget which one is like the actual one, but one of those is like a medical thing where it's like this is how you can like lose weight. They'll prescribe you like foods you can eat, and one of them is just like bullshit about like if I don't have a gluten allergy, but you shouldn't eat gluten because it causes this bullshit and depression. You know what I mean? It's like
I feel like nutritionist is probably the bullshit one.
It just
I
feels
think
bullshit.
dietitian is the one where it's like, but the nutritionist will be like, I know Kenyon, you shouldn't eat red meat because that's what gives you anxiety.
Yeah, I know,
it's like
I guess.
that kind of shit.
Yeah. Does give me anxiety that I can't afford meat. We'll say. It does give me anxiety in a restaurant when a girl orders steak like we're gonna be doing that. I'm like, no, that's not. I'm like, I don't know if you had a look at this shirt, but
It's true. You got to take the girl out to eat. She's like, I'll order the expensive thing. You're like, well, I guess I'm just eating potatoes.
yeah. Not going back to school. I guess fuck that. Fuck my life. Start rearranging things. She's like, Mom, I'm moving in later this Friday. You know? Take Stephanie out. She wanted dessert, so I guess you could just have the race car bed armed and at the ready because I'm coming back home, taking a mulligan at this whole life thing.
So that's why the chiropractors are kind of, they're forced to believe, even if they might
I don't
not.
know if that. Why are we talking again like a call?
Religious
They have no
oppression.
choice.
They are forced.
Because that's
Chiropractors will
the
be
only thing that
executed.
That'd be great.
separates.
Like chiropractors meet up late at night under a bridge and like, I heard that there are other reasons that could go wrong. I felt I broke my leg recently. It had nothing to do with the spine. No matter what I
Gerald,
did.
you know that's blasphemy.
Yeah.
How could you?
But otherwise, their whole field wouldn't exist if that.
Yeah.
Because
I think they're in the middle of the meeting and then they're like, he's wearing a wire. They all come out and tackle him. Like break their backs so they can never walk again.
Chiropractic Gestapo. That like, every time they like take off medicine, he comes and rounds them up. and shit.
yeah. Looks like we'll have to. It looks like the dissonance is going all the way to your spine. The only way to cure you is to break your back so you could never walk again.
yeah, so they've like even done like studies where they take the same X-ray to multiple chiropractors to point out the problems in the spine, and none of them can point out like the same problems. They just make
Christ.
like things up.
Wait, why is this not common? Because the other podcasts we've done were like, this is crazy. Some idiot, yoga instructor in California wrote this book, and it's all. This is like a common part of our society that people
this
go
whole
see.
Thing,
It's
the
not
journey
even.
of I'll see you in help is definitely. I think it's revealed the the psyche of America a little bit. Or you look at anything in America, you're like, how is this happening? And then you just look at this, you're like, this is how this happens.
Yeah.
This is why.
Because the whole thing is built around scamming other people out of their own money.
I mean, that's the whole basis of the fucking country. Yeah.
It's also it's not even not effective, but it's like killed people in the past.
Wait, what?
What do you mean it's killed people?
Like, because
Well, you can like break someone's. Yeah, you could fucking like break their neck or some shit.
especially when they do like the upper spine stuff, people have had like strokes and stuff from that.
Jeez.
There was this one story about Kirsty, who was a Colorado beauty queen. I don't know if
That's an appropriate name.
Yeah.
Kirsty the Colorado Beauty.
but she went to a chiropractor seeking relief from pain of like sinus headaches. And during her second visit, she suffered a stroke after the chiropractor manipulated her neck. She died 3 days later, and the autopsy revealed that the manipulation had split the inside walls of both her vertebral arteries, causing the walls to balloon and block the blood supply to the lower part of her brain.
Jesus Christ.
And you want us to do this for a podcast?
Yeah.
You want
And
us
to be clear, this is to get 5 stars on iTunes.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
you want me and Kenyon to walk in and have someone, quote unquote, manipulate the vertebrae of our neck.
I look at the other ones like, when's he gonna get burned? It's like, yeah, Kenyon actually suffered. He can't ever walk again.
But this is also this is definitely the most accepted one that we've
Yeah,
ever
that's
done.
the
My
worst
fucking-
part.
it
I'd
killed
rather
me.
drink my piss than go through any of this.
Yeah, and so they say like death is not that common because I mean otherwise.
I don't like the phrase "that common" as if we're just
Death is not that common.
Yeah, once or twice, but you can't be you can't be bringing up a bunch of bad apples, making the rest of us look bad.
But it is like strokes are a little more common. But yeah, it's
What the fuck is a little more common?
Yeah,
What the fuck is that? What do you mean a little more common? If it's any common, I don't
it's
want
a
to fucking
problem.
do it.
Yeah, I'm never going to like my pediatrician. It's like, yeah, but 1 out of 10 people die, but it's not like you're not gonna be one of them.
That being said, I do a lot more things that could give me strokes.
Yeah.
As eating French fries and doing blowout, you're like,
Yeah,
chiropractor.
no,
what
that
am I
sounds
crazy?
dangerous. Yeah,
That sounds a little. That sounds a
Say
little.
putting down your 4th beer, you're like, well, I don't want to do anything to jeopardize my health here. So it's fair to say that this chiropractic, which is a major industry in this country, doesn't have any scientific basis that works.
the only scientific basis that may exist is that it will help some lower back pain.
Okay.
And that's the only thing they've found that it could potentially
And
help.
not even a guarantee on
I'm sure
that.
just like
But-
sitting on a wooden chair and just kind of bending backwards will help.
Yeah,
someone.
Yeah,
but they
You know?
say it's not, even if that is the case, it's not more effective than like going to someone who's more qualified.
You mean an actual doctor,
Yeah.
not someone who's someone
Yeah,
who's
that's a weird
actually-
thing too. The actual like, there are physical therapists, like there are actual doctors who do this thing.
A lot of people
versus-
don't go to chiropractors for lower back pain, though. They go for all the other things they advertise that they can do,
like what, like sinus issues and like all the
like headaches. And headaches, I think, is the biggest one.
But that doesn't seem to add up at all. I wouldn't. Like, if I had a headache, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, it's my back." You know what I mean? That's the secret of.
Well, they probably advertise it like that.
Yeah.
They probably say like, "Oh, if you have a headache, we can fix that." And because of the thing that people don't
Well,
know
they
about,
they
just
have
go to it.
charts in their offices that connect, like, they make it look kind of official. They have like the spine, and then they have like all sorts of various
Well, I got
things.
spine, all problems.
Yeah.
It's not
They
even.
point to like various parts of the
Yeah.
spine, and they're like, "This one is."
Kind of the Republican
saying that-
Party's platform is like blame it all on the Mexicans, blame it all on the spine. No connection really. But if you could just have a bad guy to really rally around.
Yeah, and like 75% is saying that 75% of chiropractors use nutrition supplements in their practices.
Jesus.
So
So they'll sell me like vitamin
I feel
C.
like an
that's not
old
vitamin
cop
C or
that's
whatever.
like finding out about a serial killer file where I'm like, I can't handle this shit anymore. People like spitting coffee, always smoking cigarettes. I'm like, fucking monsters out there. Can't even sleep. I walk the streets at night. I
How
can't
many you
sleep.
put away? Deepak Chopra. How many you put away? You just they pop up.
Yeah. You're like, my honey, go to bed. Go to bed. Supposed to sleep while these animals are out here. They blame it all on the back, Mark. Could have saved them. Could have saved them all.
yeah, there is one thing though that they're super good at, and they have
Lying to Congress seems to be their hidden talent.
the best ratings for like patient satisfaction.
Well, that's actually a pretty big deal, though.
like in terms of like
Did you say satisfaction?
yeah.
That's not a word. Was it
No,
Satisfaction?
I mean he said it wrong. Yeah, I mean you're in the right here. You won. Yeah, I mean Cole totally. He said a word wrong, and you fucked up your entire life. So it's like what? I don't know who's. You guys are even. So
wanted to correct him.
They mean like that chiropractors seem like they're more concerned about their problems than regular doctors are.
Well, I mean,
Wait,
you
what
can
is that?
The thing is when your mind isn't weighed down with medical
Yeah, when I'm
science,
trying,
you
when
can
I'm
actually
trying to
focus
milk, when I'm
in
trying
on-
to juice you for as much money as I can
Yeah,
possibly
they're
get.
made
Yeah, I'm
to
gonna be
feel
fucking-
more welcome, and like that the
Oh, yeah.
chiropractors actually listen to them more than doctors.
Sure, Scientologists feel more welcome than the Christian church. But yeah, I'm trying to juice you for everything you fucking have.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little nice to you. Then we a prostitute will
smile
make
at them.
small talk with you. It's like,
Yeah,
they're about to
exactly.
make a bunch of money off of you. They're gonna be nice.
Yeah, but that's what they do best is marketing and
Just gave you $800. I better be fucking
Yeah,
satisfied.
I better be we're having a good time here. But this also makes me lose hope when you're like, yeah, the founder was into voodoo with dead people, and it's like 10 out of 10 people in America agree chiropractor is the way to go. And I'm like, maybe these are the perfect doctors for our dumb nation.
yeah. So and then when they're called doctors, they're not called medical doctors. They're called doctors of chiropractic or whatever. They're DCs. And it says
they can have like a little certificate and shit.
yeah, they go to school actually.
How long does the school take?
3 years.
3
What the
years.
hell do you learn? Because it feels like if
what the fuck
in
is?
45 minutes you seem to summed up a lot. You're like, what are they doing with the other 2.5 years of life?
Honestly, it's just. I mean, it's just. It's like being a car salesman. It's just 3 years of just learning how to just manipulate a
and
human
lie.
mind.
Yeah, I don't actually know what they learn there. It seems like a lot of work to.
Do they have like colleges? Like
Yeah, they have colleges, but all the colleges are like private. They're like kind of a business in their own right. Like
Even trying to learn about the scam, you get scammed. It's just such a beautiful scheme through and through. You know, you got to go into debt for literally nothing.
But do they make a lot of money? Like, what is the average? Because when you go to the school,
they used to make a lot of money, but there's so much of them now that they aren't doing as well.
Oh, you're saying they saturated the market with bullshit and they don't actually make? Poor chiropractors. There's so many of them ripping off the public that you don't make the same as you used to.
Also, how do you fail in chiropractic school? Like I go
Oh,
and
man, that'd be
like,
brutal.
oh, I saw you broke his neck. You got a B plus.
I think if you question too much
Yeah, then
about
you get
the
an F.
spine, if they keep asking questions, you're like, but how does the spine really
You get
solve
pulled out in
that?
a black room with a bag over your head. So, putting a lot of dots that aren't there, that aren't connected.
So it says, like during a school, a lot of them are taught to be entrepreneurs, and that so because they don't go into residency program, they're just kind of thrown on the street after school, and they have to like
Wait, just start a business, basically? They have
Yeah.
to just, Jesus.
they do what they can to survive, and
Well, that's such a...
What the fuck?
What,
does that
Mad
mean?
Max?
What the fuck?
Every
does that mean?
chiropractor crawls out into the streets with one objective: survive.
so they start like selling dietary
Crack cocaine.
supplements.
On the streets to get enough money to scam the American public more.
Yeah, or like homeopathic stuff, herbal remedies.
The dark underside of chiropractic.
And they take actual courses in like kind of the deception that selling this stuff to
I feel like that we're
people.
fucking with such a public entity that like I'm gonna be like walking to my uncle's house in the dark and a car's just gonna pull up like very slowly.
Yo, my place gets fucking just gets shot up as a warning.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
Going
fucking.
down.
You go to check out like a chiropractor one day and they're like, "Oh, Kenyan, okay."
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then,
yeah.
and then during the session, they kind of like twist your
Yeah. It's like, just break my neck.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll see you in hell, buddy, and then just kill me right there. How about you review this and just fucking break? Kwamen's nervous, like, dude, I'm geeking, man. I think I'm being followed. Cole, just get shot over the.
Someone kind of noted how good or how much of their business is just like marketing, because like after like September 11 happened,
What did they do? How
What?
did they take advantage of this
How
massive
these
tragedy?
monsters took advantage of fucking 9/11.
some like practices sent out a thing that said like, in the wake of the recent tragedy that has rocked the security of America and its citizens, it is our obligation as chiropractors and leaders in family healthcare to help initiate, contribute to, and lead the healing of our country by making a commitment to laying our hands on as many people as possible in the coming days.
They're going out. They're going out. Fucking monsters.
Can you imagine someone saw the towers go down? They're like, I could spin this into something. Someone who was like, this could help the quarter. That's America right there. Is like
you say 2,000 lives lost. I say $2 million in profit.
We're really coming to a point in this country where we're going to start having like school shooter special Tuesdays. It's raining down bullets and sales over at Walmart. Check it out. Get a free bulletproof vest with a purchase of $100 or more.
Do you think it's craven to use?
Yes,
September 11th?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact,
it's one of the most evil fucking things I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
Like if after that happened and we tried to promote our podcast somehow with it.
Oh man,
You want to talk about fire? What do I got a fire pod for you? People are jumping for I'll see you and help.
It's our duty as a podcast to help heal the nation by
Oh man, we need to be here for each other right now and give our podcast 5 review on Spotify. Okay, I mean that just
yeah. So that's I guess that's a little overview of
Well, yeah, I'm
one of the most
kinda
evil
shocked.
businesses to ever
Yeah, I
fucking
didn't
exist in the United
realize
States.
there was like a cartel of just scam artists.
They're
Yeah.
like the Mexican cartel is not as evil as
No,
as
not even. Yeah, because
at least
they
at
sell
least with
stuff that works.
Yeah, and at least with that, I know what I'm getting.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know this is crack. This isn't some bullshit.
Yeah, that's another thing. They have more value than chiropractor supplements because it's like, you know that's gonna work.
You're not
You know what I
lying to
mean?
me. You're telling me my drug dealer is never gonna be like, no, this is actually like really really good for you. Like,
Yeah.
you know what it is.
it honestly is how amazing how they have legitimate this practice, because most people I talk to don't even know.
No, I don't question it at all.
I thought it was a real thing for like a number. I thought it was just a
But
type
that's
of.
how stupid we are. We just see a sign outside of a storefront. We're like, well, it seems real. We're
I
like,
don't even think that is stupid, because I've talked to, I mean, I don't consider you guys like stupid, but I've also talked.
Well, I like how you
Did you hear the way
you
he
really
said
had
that
to
shit, bro?
pause to say that. You really had an internal
He
conflict.
said
on
the way
whether-
he's like, well, I mean, you're not like a dog.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
But like even other people that I've talked to like believe in like that it does
I
something.
think most people you would talk to would be like, yeah, why isn't that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then you go to the Wikipedia page and the first thing it's like chiropractic is an alternative medicine.
You're like, oh.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
also I think a lot of people like read alternative and they don't think bullshit. They think like just a thing outside of doctors.
It literally says alternative to actual medicine. You could get healed, or hear me out. Pay $300 to a white girl with fucking dreadlocks. Just have her figure it out for you.
Yeah, but I think they've also done like a good job of kind of hiding
Oh, they've done a great job.
the alternative stuff
And
behind.
this, if anything, I appreciate the work ethic of these people.
Yeah.
To really just, and when some people go to sleep, they just stay up, try to figure out.
People look at like bullshits and scam like these lazy people take it. I'm like, well, lazy is the wrong.
No,
This isn't lazy. This is the
Bernie
most
Madoff was not a lazy
the
man.
most hardworking motherfuckers I've ever seen. In my
Yeah,
life.
So what do you guys think? Are you guys gonna go to a chiropractor after
You
this?
pay for
yeah,
it.
yeah. I mean, that's exactly. Yeah, you pay for it. I'll go. Honestly, that over there, we're probably gonna bring up other health issues. We're just gonna be like, if I'm honest, I can't sleep at night, and my heart hurts a lot. I don't know what's going on. And they're like, yeah, I just fix your back. You know.
Yeah, but you think they crack our necks and we become like that episode of SpongeBob where he's like round.
Yeah, I think it's
Show him-
Show up, I just have a 6-pack. You're like, what's going on with Kenyon? You know. And I wish they're right. I hope the whole time I just walk out of there.
Also, even just the practice of like cracking your neck doesn't sound
Doesn't sound
like
like
it
that would
doesn't sound
solve much.
Yeah, it doesn't even sound. It sounds very harmful.
Yeah.
Like not that far away.
mean, it's bad
I mean,
for you
you
to just
kill
like.
people most
Isn't
of
it
the
bad
time.
for you to just like crack your neck by like just turning it and crack?
Yeah,
like,
it's
that's
not-
unhealthy, right?
Yeah, people have died from that too.
Have they really?
Yeah.
No, but you're gonna trust a guy that got a fraudulent degree after 3 years. I mean, I don't. What are you worried about?
We had Kwamin actually go to a chiropractor this week to test out to see if it's what it advertises.
It is. I mean, it's. I mean, it is kind of what it have. I mean, they do. What do you want me to start? What do you want me to do?
Just
I walk in.
Just narrate your little adventure you had.
So I get there. It's like about 20 minutes from my house. I walk in and walk up. There's a woman sitting at the front desk wearing a crystal necklace. So already,
that is just a signal flare for bullshit.
already a licensed professional. And I'm like, hey, I could just pay, right? She's like, yeah, we do like cash or debit. She stresses, she's like, we do not accept any kind of like copays or insurance, anything. And I'm like, all right,
Did you
cool.
ask her why?
What do you say? I don't ask why. I just accept it all.
Because any authority wouldn't actually cover such nonsense because Aetna is not in their stakeholders plan.
Well, I saw a little payment. So my initial thing was a $30 like initial checkup, and the actual payment plans it's like $70 for like 10 visits, and like one of them was like you can get like 20 visits that you can schedule whenever you want, but it's $400. So then she sits me down, she has me fill out like 6 pages of paperwork, right? There's a bunch of like legal liability shit about like one thing they kept stressing is that
Like if they snap your neck, you're at fault.
they didn't even really stress that. A big thing they stress is that
They didn't
won't-
even get to that.
Yeah.
There's so many problems they can't even get to the fact that you'll probably be
a
dead.
big thing they stress is that they don't run actual tests on you. So they were saying that like
Why would you do it after that when you're like, by the way, we're not a doctor?
like they were like we won't run like Xrays, they won't run like heart monitor stuff, and that they'll refer to you. And I guess like if some shit happens, you can't be like I went there and they didn't test me. So they stress that they don't run anything like
You
that.
just
on
sign a waiver that says, hey, by the way, we're not actual
Yeah,
doctors.
by the way, we will. They at one point the liability that says refer you to a medical professional.
It's like, just to be clear, you're not one of them, right?
Yeah.
You're just some dude.
So
And
they
then
were mixers?
What do you say?
You think they were mixers?
I don't know what the fuck they were.
Yeah. I think if they mention X-rays and stuff, they're probably like
Yeah.
if they mention other
They're
doctors.
not as hardcore as
Yeah.
if they
So I
mention the existence.
yeah. So then I fill all that shit out. They had me put down like my occupation, but I didn't put down where I worked. I just put the very basic. I said host, and then she sends me back to where the doctor's at. Keep in mind, he's not wearing.
Why didn't you want the
Well,
the
I'll get to why
chiropractors
that's important. I'll get to why that's important.
to know where you worked?
Because they ask for like your phone numbers, because I think they like send you like texts and emails and like try to get you to come back. So I think these people like fucking call my job and shit. So I go to the back. It's not a doctor's office. It's a little guy at a bench, and he's not wearing doctor scrubs. He's just wearing like what like a car salesman would wear, basically. It's like kind of like business casual. And there's a guy typing, I think, just nothing on a computer.
just make it look official. It's like, oh, fuck.
I sit down, he's like, that's the only time you got to fill out those forms. You see him back there? See him back there? And the guy's like,
Yeah, Fred's like, this is what we train for. This is what we train
he's
for.
just typing bullshit, and he's like, he's got all your stuff digital already worked up. But I'm like, okay, cool.
You were worried though that your boss like might fire you.
No, I was
because-
worried they might like call my job or something, because they had me like put down like my phone number and like my.
Worst
And
case scenario,
email
you
and
lose
shit.
your minimum wage job at a
Yeah,
video game
well,
lounge.
what's your boss gonna be like?
I don't want them.
I mean, these damn chiropractors are calling all the time.
I don't want them fucking ignoring me constantly.
Probably think it's like your parole officer.
I put down a fake email. I didn't want them because they're gonna send you updates and shit. So then I sit down, and he this is what pissed me off the most. Is so I checked off like where like I said I had problems. I have no back problems, but I said that I had problems in my upper and lower back and then my shoulders. He glances at like what I put my occupation as, which is host, and he's like, "Oh yeah, host. Yeah. They spend a lot of time on their feet. It's probably what it is that like you're hunched over all the time." So I think whatever you put as your occupation,
They just automatically
they
go
just
into-
bullshit and just they're ready to throw.
Yeah, it reminds me of like psychics that like kind of like you kind of give them information and then they fit like their
It was like,
predictions
dude, he was
around
so
that.
like salesman and like he was like he talks super fucking fast, just bullshitty, and he had me do like a bunch of tests that weren't really like he got the little hammer thing that the doctors hit against your knee to like test your reflexes.
Yeah,
So he gets that, but he's like hitting like my back and my chest and shit.
He saw that you were a host, and he's like, we could just do whatever we want with this kid. We can.
He hit like my elbow. He hit it on like my hand at one point. He's like, I don't think this is how it works. He hits like my thigh. and
There's
he
a
hits
rubber
my-
hammer that he's hitting your back with.
just tenderizing you.
little
for
rubber
some
chicken
reason.
things. And he hits that all around, and then he
Does he have like a serious look at the whole time? Was he like saying?
Dude, I
he's
had
like, "Oh, it's
to. It
bad
was like
reaction."
I had to control myself. To like, I don't think you would have been able to. I think you would have burst out.
I would have fallen.
I
I
think you
probably
would have
would
burst
have.
out.
I would have kept quizzing him about the foundations of chiropractic.
It was so hard for me to like every time he was like, let me work you through like what chiropractic is. Like I know what chiropractic.
I know what you mean.
I did my fucking research.
Yeah. It'd be great if you like interrupted. You're like, actually, many people go with the founder instead of his son that ran him over.
He was like, He's like, how'd you hear about it? I was like, oh, just online, just looked up some stuff, had some back problems. So then then we got to the actual after we did like a couple stretches.
Yeah.
A big thing is he kept stressing that I had to stretch my hamstrings, because what he said is the body is like a building, and so if your foundation's not good, your legs, the top of your building's gonna fall off. So he says that I need to stretch my hamstrings and ice them so that my back pain will go away, because apparently that's a thing that happens. And then he had me lay down, and he did like the actual chiropractic. So he had a lot of he'd like put me in a position and then just kind of like lean on me with his knee and like until it cracked.
It is kind of a violent.
It
like
kinda,
if you watch
hurts,
it's
man. It's like kind of painful.
It looks like a violent thing.
He kept
He
stressing
does like some
that I was
MMA moves basically on your back.
Yeah.
to cure
Yeah.
you.
He kept stressing that I was gonna be like sore and shit after. I was like, this guy's gonna fucking kill me. Like he had me like doing neck thing at one point. He like turns my neck and it like cracks, and I was like, I'm gonna die.
So it is like a gentle massage. It's like there's a grown man on your back
Yeah.
trying to literally beat the money out of you.
Yeah, and it's just like it's just like I think people think that they feel good afterwards because you just the same with like you crack your knuckles, where it's like you just hear.
You're like,
The relief.
surely something happened. I
Because
heard
he
a
does
noise.
it until it hears a crack. So he twists your neck, and if it doesn't crack, he does it like three or four times until it like gets a
Jeez.
crack, and then he stops. And then he did that for I paid $35 by the way for 30 minutes. Probably lasted.
You said $35, $100. That is not that much money.
But
I'm
what
gonna
the
go
fuck
ahead
he
and tell you.
did? For what the fuck he did, it was a goddamn ripoff.
Yeah.
And probably for 12 minutes straight, and he cracked it. Then he sat me up, and then he gave me like a. Let me pull my paper out here. He
Oh yeah,
gave me-
you have a
Yeah, he gave me
wellness plan.
Yeah, a little wellness plan. I have to do. It's basically just them trying to get me to come in and do more sessions. He says I need to be coming in 2 times a week for 4 weeks for my relief period, and then my recovery period needs to be 1 time a week for 4 weeks.
And just to be clear, you don't have any actual
I have
medical
no
problem.
actual medical.
Yeah,
problem.
okay.
Did he give you an explanation of like your wellness plan? Like, did he's
I don't know. He did tell me that this is probably only going to last for 48 hours, and I need to come back in.